Seminoles, Illini, Badgers. Of these three teams who are all kind of ranked around each other, I'm curious, D, who do you trust the most right now?
Well, I know you like Florida State, and I don't want to agree with. I mean, Florida State is a great team, like you said. They've won 18 straight. They won the ACC championship last year. They was fourth in the nation before the whole pandemic started. They have guys that can step up any given night. MJ Walker, Scotty Burns are two of their best guys. They always play defense. They turn you over and they block shots. But the team who I trust, I like Illinois. And we mentioned them bouncing back, beating a good team in Minnesota after losing to a good team in Mizzou. You know, like Mizzou is still a good, solid team that can still get to the basket. They can score. They play fast. They play tough. This is the team that plays with energy. Brad Underwood talked about getting back to who they are, stepping up, guys taking defensive assignments personally, also guys making free throws. And when they played Mizzou a couple of days ago, they shot 60% from the free throw line. That's not good enough. That's 11 points. They left 11 points on the board that could have helped them beat this Missouri really, really, really good team. Kofi Cockburn was 9 for 15 from the free throw line, which is huge for them because he struggles from the free throw line. So they have to just learn how to hit first. This is a team that is very, very talented, but they seem to react instead of reacting. And that's what happened when they played Missouri. But if they learn how to play with that chip on their shoulder from the beginning of the game and coming out in halftime and playing with a chip on their shoulder, I think they have a chance to go on 3-game winning streaks, 4-game winning streaks, and really be a problem in college basketball.
Well, Kofi Cockburn is a problem, and against Minnesota, he just absolutely dominated the post. Man, when you have a team that already has the likes of Ayo Dosunmu and Trent Frazier, who I think does so many things that don't get accounted for, don't get talked about enough, and then you have that presence in the paint, the Fighting Illini are one of the most fun teams in the sport. They're one of the most enjoyable teams to watch in the sport, and they're going to be fine. The loss to Missouri, sometimes there's good to take out of something like that. Clearly there was, because they blew the barn doors off of Minnesota. By the way, with Florida State, I had to bring this up. How about the fact that they have a banner up in the rafters that says NCAA tournament, you know, projected, I think it says projected number 4 overall seed.
Yeah.
You know, and then it says canceled on the banner. What a move by the Knowles.
That's you know what? But that just kind of motivates the fellas like, hey, let's remember who we are. Let's remember what we did last year. Let's bring that in to this year, even though they lost 4 major.
Yeah, but hold on. If you were Syracuse playing an ACC game down in Florida State, and you looked up and saw that banner, you know, canceled, but yeah, we made the tournament. What would you say?
But not just make the tournament. They were the best team in the ACC. So
I'm saying, if you were a Syracuse player, would you roll your eyes?
You know what? As a player, I'm not really looking in the stand.
I know.
You know, so as a player, I'm just like, all right, well, that was last year. This is this year. Let's roll out the ball and let's play. But I think it's a pretty good move. I think it's a psychological move. It gives you something to think about. It gives you something to talk about. I think it's pretty cool. What do you think?
Well, this is my follow-up here. Look, it's a savage move, and I'm all for it. The tournament got canceled. They were going to make it. Put the banner up. Put the damn banner up. I love it. But here's my question. I have always wondered this about players. When the starting lineup video's going and the place is going crazy, how much attention are you paying to all the pregame stuff going on?
That's a great question. That is a great question because some guys sit back and they enjoy the show.
They enjoy it. I know they do.
So, especially so let's say I'm home and we are in the Carrier Dome, but if I'm away, we're playing away. Me personally, I don't want to look at anybody else but myself and my teammates. I want to lock in on what we have to do. I don't want to see the opponent dunking and shooting threes and celebrating. Psychologically, I think that does something to the opponent, and I think that's why teams do that. They put their best highlights up in the rafters, so hoping that the opposing team can lose their confidence. So I want to keep my confidence. So I stay locked in. I think about my goals. I think about what the game plan is, and I lock in on the game.
I was just curious. I think I've seen guys on the bench sit back and watch and just take it all in, and then do whatever. But then it's interesting. It's interesting. You could totally. I think when you're on the road and they got flames, like I've been at the Cintas Center and they've got pyrotechnics and we got fire going all over the place. It's hard to not pay attention to that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But so everybody has their own pre-game ritual, or some guys go to the bathroom, some guys stretch, some guys sit on the bench, some guys do their prayer, some guys touch the net.
What was yours?
Mine's was I would do a prayer, I would hit the ball, and I would shoot a layup. So I'll shoot layups until the whole show is over, because I want to get my rhythm. I want to stay warm. I want to stay focused during the game, because there's so many distractions from the fans, from the whistle, from the sneakers, from the players, from
Boeheim,
from everything. So depending on who you are, you have to go what works for you. I know for me, I was just dialed in, laser focused, mama mentality. I want to shoot everybody's heads off.
So back to this discussion here. I trust Florida State. And, we didn't even bring up Wisconsin, and it's really hard for me to not say Wisconsin because they play the perfect formula to a degree that gives them a chance to be in any game with any team, and they have all the experience. Yeah. But my fear with Wisconsin is Virginia-esque, that in the event they're not finding any sort of an offensive groove, that they just have an off night from the field, and in the NCAA tournament, they lose to a team that finds it from beyond the arc, where your defense just doesn't matter as much because the team has a hot shooting night and you lose. Wisconsin's shown us otherwise for the most part in the tournament. They're a team that can make a deep run. They could be in the Final Four for all that I'm saying right now. But I just have a trust level. Here's why I love Florida State. They have this interchangeable nature. You saw their draft picks this past year.
Guy off the bench went top 10.
Yeah, exactly. Went top 10. And these are guys that were not averaging 20 points a game. Nope. They were guys that were just being in their role, but you could see the NBA in them. You could see the NBA in Patrick Williams. You could see the NBA in these players for the Seminoles that have gone in the draft rather early these past couple years. That's a direct credit to Leonard Hamilton. He is the fine wine of college basketball. He doesn't age. His teams play their asses off, and they're only allowing 64 points per game. Their rebounding margin is +5 on average. Florida State plays a style, a way. They have a versatility about them that makes them really difficult to prepare for. And I think that they are good enough to win the ACC again this year.